Hello and welcome to today's live coaching call and community conversation. Today is Thursday, so we are going to be talking about something mindset related. So welcome. If you are new here, my name is Diane Parham. I'm the creator of the online course and community, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman, as well as our MidLife Mindset Shift course and community. Please make sure that you use this time and use the comment section to tell us where you're tuning in from, or share with us maybe a little mindset shift you've had since you've been in this community, or a mindset shift you want to make as maybe a new member. Today, we're going to talk about what it is that you say you really want and why that word really is the defining kind of part of the whole situation that's going to really determine where it is you are going to go and how it is you are feeling en route to get there. So I have some notes that we're going to go over today and some little tips that I want to share with you. And then I'll open up the discussion for our community. So what do you really want? This is the saying that I really started using for myself when I was on my journey, starting with intermittent fasting, when I was really sick and wondering like what the heck was going to happen to me as a midlife woman. And the really part of that question is where I noticed that I was making the biggest strides, because what we want in the moment often is just a feeling that we're trying to satisfy. And if we are to just pause for a second and really think about what's going on around us and ask ourselves some questions, we might decide that thing we're about to embark on is really not going to take us where it is we say we want to go. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the really want is taking us from the now, immediate gratification, to the future, or what I like to call the future version of ourselves that we are really hoping to create. And especially for us women in this midlife series, when there are so many things that just feel so unsure to us, when we stop to think about the future and the decisions we're making today, we really have this amazing opportunity and this power to create what it is we want to see for ourselves as we move along this process of aging and midlifeism and all the things, right? It is what I believe the most optimal time for us as women to step into our power and step into who we are and who we really want to be. But it does take a little bit of that pause for us to be able to, in our brain, define what that future is looking like for us, or we want it to look like. So like I said, the really want takes us from the impulse decisions, which can often be encompassed by indulgence and then regret, and moves us into the why decisions. And this is where, in this community and what I teach specifically inside the Midlife Mindset Shift course, is the power of our 4-step process. And that when you're in a decision-making process, or you're not sure about something that's going on, if you take a second to just take a deep breath, in that breath, you pause, you think about what's going on and literally check into the thoughts that are going on into your brain, and then ask yourself, if you do this thing that you're impulse driven to do, how is that going to lead you to what it is that you say that you really want? Because the impulse is what you want, but what you really want is the future, right? And how this thing is going to have you looking and feeling as we move along. So if you can breathe, pause, think, and then ask yourself a very clear question about how is this going to end up for me as soon as I make the decision, and then you get a more informed decision about your next step. So breathe, pause, think, ask are really tied to our why. We talk about the why here in this community a lot. The why is the power, the why we're doing things, the why we're making lifestyle changes, the why we want to show up looking and feeling our best, are the things that are rooted in the soul of who we are, and ultimately should lead us to those decision-making processes. And that is often what it is we say we really want. So we make decisions from our current emotional state or a feeling that we have. And so if you notice you're not making decisions that you are seeing as the end result of what it is you say that you really want, then you have to really stop and think about, changing your thoughts so that the feeling that you're then moving along with is one that's going to lead you to a result that you're going to be happy with. It is a process that does take a little bit of time to integrate into who we are, because there is some conditioning that we all have, kind of in us from our past, or just being women, or childhood things that have happened to us. And if we've also identified that pattern, or a little bit of that ingrainedness in us that's not serving us well today for who it is we say that we want, then breaking those thoughts and breaking those habits are really the first step into you getting what it is that you say that you really want. I believe every woman is worth this work. I believe every woman deserves to have what it is that they say that they really want for themselves, but it does take a little bit to connect to that, define that, and then make sure that you're doing the practice work of mindset shifting so that the result that you get is in fact that thing. Super powerful work to do. It is the basis of what I teach inside the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, which is why we now have a midlife mindset shift course and community as well. So you can take that next step with us and really do the work on conditioning how it is you think about the things in your life so that you feel the way you want to feel, and that will lead to the decisions you want to make. I love doing this work. It's my favorite work to do. And it is really proving to be the power tool that so many women in this season of life are using to have a life that they are creating for themselves that they actually love. Okay, let's see who is here today. Charmin, good morning from spectacular Colorado. Even though menopause is a distant memory, I look forward to being here. Girlfriend, we are all in different seasons of life and everyone is welcome. So I love that you are here as well. I think midlife is just that point, right? The decision-making point for so many women that we realize that we want things to be different from that point moving forward. So midlife forward, I don't know what word or phrase we would use to describe that. But it is that kind of shock and awe that we all end up going through, and then realizing like this is the place now that we are going to have this opportunity and this power, and we're going to create what it is we say that we really want moving forward for ourselves. So I love having you here, my friend. Liz, hello from cool 76 degrees, Maryland. I think it's cooler here today too. I think it was like 77 this morning when I took my daughter to practice. No doubt it'll probably be 107 by the end of the day, but glad you're having a cool day in Maryland. I follow some of the nuggets of info I've gotten from you that sugar-free gum and mints can signal pancreas to send insulin to my body. Not worth ending fast. Yeah, and it is just kind of that thing that, Liz, once we get to a place where we are healed, and so I say there's kind of two arenas that we live in: healing and healed. And so for a lot of women new to our community, or maybe new to the intermittent fasting course, we're still in that healing phase. And so every decision that we make is going to be a significant one based on what it is we say that we really want, right? And I'm very open here about when I first started intermittent fasting, I fasted as if my life depended on it. And so I let nothing interrupt what my end goal was. And that was healing myself from that transition of perimenopause into menopause. And then once you're healed, and when I say healed, I mean mentally, emotionally, and physically, and you are really thriving in your decision-making process with fasting, and you're no longer feeling like your feasting is a struggle, and you can ebb and flow your decision-making process through social situations. I just explained all this inside of our intermittent fasting course today, actually. When you really find that grounding and that comfort in what you're doing, then we can lighten it up a little bit, right? And we can make some exceptions to things. And so not everything is going to be as detrimental as it once was. But if you're finding that clean fast is really where you're thriving and you don't want anything to ever interrupt it, then yeah, we need to look at those things like gum and mints and all that, and just understand that just does put our body into a fed state. And are we willing to give up that clean, fasted, deep healing state for a piece of gum or a mint? And for most of us, that's a no. Nancy, good sunny noon in Maine, enjoying my class. Diane, you are amazing. women with a lot, amazing woman with a lot to offer. I appreciate you for saying that, Nancy. I have been doing a lot of work, a lot of studying, a lot of, trial and error on my own part as well. And I'm always going to be an open book and sharing what it is that I learned on my journey with you guys as well. I have been studying nutrition and fitness and women's psychology since I was in high school. And I love that all these years I've been able to compile all that together and be able to present some of these coaching opportunities for you guys here. So Nancy, we love having you here with us. Liz, before I thought it was just a few calories and it wouldn't make a difference. Now I understand and will not give into gum or mint urge. Yeah, remember too, Liz, it's not calories that break a fast. It's a chemical or hormonal response your body has to a decision that you just made. And so if you are, and this is where a lot of the advice on the internet is just nonsense to us, because 15 calorie Werther's Original or whatever, right? Or a Lifesaver mint and all the ingredients that are in that and what your body has to do to receive that, and then process that and know what to do with that is what's breaking your fast. So it's not ever the calories, but what your body ends up having to do to accept and process the thing that you just put into it. And so that's really where we need to make those decisions for sure. So Fonda, my thumbs up girl. It's so good to see you here today. November 22 grad, Atlanta, Florida, Georgia, tri-state area. I am stepping into the best of me, blazing hot day, following my why and doing what's best for me. So Fonda, I love you, my friend. Thank you for reminding everyone to do that thumbs up thing. We don't have one thumbs up or one like here yet. I see like 50. Oh, there we go. There's one. There you go. So hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. It does really help our community. I am going to be doing these mindset shift coaching lessons every Thursday. So we want this audience here to grow for us as well, just like it did in the intermittent fasting course side. So the thumbs up, the likes, the follows, the shares, the comments, all of that really do help us here. We want to build this mindset shift part of what we're doing here in our community as well, because I believe the intermittent fasting course is step one. But what we do in really developing a healthy relationship with us and the choices that we're making and our mindset in general is where we really pack the power of the punch that we put into this lifestyle that we're creating for ourselves. So I appreciate you always being here, my friend. Charmin, as always, great info. Time well spent. Thanks, Diane. You are welcome, my graduate friend. Robin, January 23 grad. This is what I really need today. Struggle with the pause. Bakery is a tough place for me to conquer the mind. Thank you, Diane. Yeah, just remember why it is you're there, right? So I think you work in a bakery, and so it's just a job, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give into whatever it is that you're doing there. And if we think about every profession that's out there, are we expected to participate and partake in every aspect of the job that we are doing? And the answer to that is probably no. So just remember, you're there to serve a purpose, right? And you go and you serve that purpose. And if doing anything outside of what you have defined as what you really want, if that doesn't apply to you, then just don't partake. And then there might be days that you choose to partake, and that's okay too. We want to stay out of this area as well, the indulgence and regret area, as much as possible. If you make the decision to do something when you're at work, you own the decision and you just move along. No problem. But love having you here with us, my friend. The pause is very powerful. The clean fast is everything. It is. Lynette, hello. Thank you for your consistent message. Setting the why can help you make sound financial decisions also. 100%. The why is powerful in every aspect of our life. Do you want the thing now that you're about to buy, or would it best serve you with your goals and the things that you want and say you want for your future? Would it be better for you to use that money in a different way? And oftentimes money and spending habits and addictions are just as equal as food, right? And so oftentimes we shop for that dopamine hit. I mean, I absolutely love when an Amazon package hits my front porch, so I get it. Or is it a time for us to refrain and restrain from making those impulse purchases and keep the money in the bank for future use or whatever it is your goals are? So yes, all these lessons apply to every aspect of our life. And this is the power of the midlife mindset shift group coaching and courses, is that we we do focus on the intermittent fasting part of things, but we also expand outside of that as well, because all aspects of our life are going to be the thing that are going to end up determining how well we move into the future. Now, my friend living in scorching hot Texas, same. Loving the mindset course, learning how to navigate through life when life is beating me up. I come out of the struggles ready for whatever the world has to throw me. Yes, and that is exactly why we do the mindset shift course as well. And I love now, I've loved getting to know you inside the class, and I love that opportunity for us to do some one-on-one live connection as well. So appreciate you, my friend, and you are doing amazing things for you and your future self. Leona, hello, my friend. It's so good to see you. Vonica, I love that you encourage us to look within and figure out what is best for us. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could solve everyone's problems for them, but that would also then imply that I've also solved all of mine, and I haven't. I'm always a work in progress, right? And so it really does pay for every person to figure out what's best for them. And then you own that also. I think a lot of times, and this is why I've stopped giving out like meal plans and specific food suggestions to women, is because it's not my responsibility to tell people how to eat. It's not my responsibility to tell people how to live. I can share with you what I've learned through my studies. I can share with you what I've learned through my own personal experiences, but you ultimately are the one that's going to make the decisions for yourself. So coaches, counselors, therapists, teachers, we're guides. We guide you, and then you ultimately are the one that gets to make the decisions that best serve you. And then when you're in that position, it's super powerful, because then you only have you to look at for your successes and or maybe the areas that you're falling a little short. It's super powerful when you change your mindset on that as well. Leona, I'm saving lots of money on food by doing 24 IF. Yes, for sure. Nell, you're welcome, my friend. Smith Johnson. That sounds like a double last name. Is your first name Smith, or is it like a combo last name? Or is Johnson your first name? Interesting. Smith Johnson. Love it. Glorious morning from sunny and hot SoCal. Oh, girlfriend, I'm from SoCal. Where are you from? Diane, thank you for your knowledge. I'm struggling with emotional endurance through healing process. Any tips would help. If you're struggling for endurance, so you're feeling like you're not going to have what it takes to get you to the place where you're healing, the best advice I could give you is what I use for me, and that is I did it as if my life depended on it. Like I did it as if my life depended on it. So you have to think about what's going to keep you from getting to the place of being healed. And that thing that you're going to allow to get in your way has to be more important than the end result that you're striving for. And if it's more important, then it might be valid. And if you've really decided that it's not more important, then you cannot let it get in your way of you doing what it is you say that you really want. And if what you really want is to be healed, then that's where you endure. That's where you put all your energy. That's where you put all your enthusiasm. That's where you put all your resources. Is I'm doing this thing until I'm at a place where I'm healed. No exceptions. And then you don't allow exceptions. Ruthie, thank you for all the great information. You are welcome, my friend. It's so good to see you here today as well. Okay, that's all I got. Short and sweet. What is it that you say that you really want for yourself in this season of your life and moving forward? Because we only have forward to go, right? Do you want to make decisions for the now, the immediate gratification, or are you willing to create a lifestyle for yourself that will stand the test of time and move you to your future version of who you want to be? Remember, impulse decisions often lead to indulgence and regret. We don't want to live there. It's not worth it. They're very short-lived. The short-lived satisfaction is never worth the long gain or the long amount of time we have to live in regret. So remember that one. Your why decisions come from you breathing, pausing, thinking, and asking yourself the appropriate questions. Is this going to lead me to what it is I say that I really want? And if it's a no, you make a new decision. We make decisions from our current emotional state and what we're feeling in the moment. Be very aware of that and tap into that. If you notice that you make decisions that aren't serving you when you're in a feeling that is sad or anxious or down in the dumps or stressed, you have to check in with that feeling before you make decisions. And this is where the breathe, pause, think, and ask is so powerful for so many of us. So I hope this helps you today with some things that you might be struggling with in your life. This applies again to all areas of our life, not just fasting, not just feasting, but every single aspect of our life. Leona, thank you, or no, Peg, sorry. Thank you, Diane, for all your wisdom. You are welcome, my friend. And there we go with Leona. Love your advice about emotional endurance. Yes, you have to, it's just like running, or it's just like doing anything else for the long term. You have to just keep reframing your brain and put your energy where you want the result to be. And if your energy is being spent, whether it's mental energy, emotional energy, or physical energy is being spent on the negative aspect of what you're doing, that's an energy suck. So you have to put your time and energy and resources and thoughts and feelings and all the things in that positive framework. And then you just keep that energy fueled and that everything that you need to get to where it is you want to go in that bank. And then you will get to where you want to go. So you got to just keep it in the right place for you. Nancy, I need to do that with my feasting time. Yeah, for sure. We allow so many things that have nothing to do with us fueling our body with nutrient dense food keep us from doing that exact thing, right? So it's the cat being sick, or the tire being flat, or being late for work, or your husband forgetting something at the grocery store, or something going on with your kid, or something happening at work, whatever it is. Those things have nothing to do with how you decide to fuel your body, right? But we often let those things be the excuses for why it is we make poor choices. So make sure that you are the first priority in your feasting time, regardless of what's going on around you, and those feasting choices will improve for sure. Leona, January 23 grad, jump into class. It's awesome. Thank you, my friend. Registration is currently closed for our Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course because we are making some changes to it, but I will announce here probably on Monday. It'll be open on Monday, and we're going to allow students to now register and join on the same day, and they can start day one, the day they register. So we're super excited about having that opportunity for the women in our community as well. So thank you for saying that. Okay, have a great weekend. It's our last summer weekend before school starts. So we are going to hopefully have some time to do some cool family things before our daughter starts her senior year in high school. So I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope you're taking advantage of whatever's going on in your community or whatever's going on in your life. Remember, you are in the driver's seat when it comes to making the decision-making processes for you. So make sure that you're driving carefully. All right, I'll see you guys on Monday.